The life and martyrdom of Apostle James the Lesser. Apostle James the Lesser, also known as James, son of Alphaeus, is one of the lesser-known figures among the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ. Despite the limited historical and biblical records concerning him, his life remains significant in the foundation of the Christian Church. Often overshadowed by James the Greater, the brother of John, James the Lesser played a crucial role in spreading the gospel and maintaining the faith of the early Christian community. This extensive study explores his early life, his role as an apostle, his contributions to the Christian faith, and his martyrdom. The origins of James the Lesser remain somewhat obscure. The title the Lesser likely distinguishes him from James the Greater, who was part of Jesus' inner circle. James the Lesser was the son of Alphaeus, though little is known about his family lineage beyond this detail. Some biblical scholars suggest that his mother Mary might have been among the women who followed Jesus and supported his ministry, Mark 15:40. Growing up in ancient Judea, James was likely exposed to the Jewish traditions and the teachings of the Torah. As a devout Jew, he would have been well versed in the religious practices of his people. His calling as one of the 12 apostles signifies that Jesus saw in him the qualities of a faithful and devoted disciple. James the Lesser was chosen as one of the 12 apostles by Jesus Christ. Though the Gospels do not elaborate extensively on his role, his presence among the chosen disciples underscores his importance. The selection of the apostles was a pivotal moment in Jesus' ministry, as these men would become the foundation of the Christian faith. Throughout Jesus' ministry, James witnessed his miracles, teachings, and acts of compassion. As part of the apostolic group, he played an active role in spreading the message of repentance, love, and salvation. Though not recorded as frequently as other apostles, James's unwavering faith and commitment to Jesus were unquestionable. One of the key aspects of his role in Jesus' ministry was his participation in the Last Supper. Though the Gospels do not specifically highlight his actions during the meal, he was present during this sacred event, which laid the foundation for the Eucharist in Christian tradition. Following Jesus' crucifixion, resurrection, and ascension, James the Lesser became a pivotal figure in the early Christian church. Alongside other apostles, he helped establish the early Christian community in Jerusalem. Tradition holds that he was one of the key leaders among the Jewish Christians, particularly in maintaining the faith within the city. Many scholars identify James the Lesser with James, the first bishop of Jerusalem. If this identification is accurate, it would mean that he played a crucial role in overseeing the Christian movement in its infancy. His leadership was marked by deep devotion to prayer, a commitment to Jewish customs, and the unification of Jewish and Gentile believers. One of his most significant contributions was his participation in the Council of Jerusalem, Acts 15. The council addressed the issue of whether Gentile converts needed to follow Jewish law, particularly circumcision. James, recognized for his wisdom and authority, played a role in formulating the decision that Gentile Christians were not obligated to adhere strictly to Jewish customs, easing the spread of Christianity beyond Jewish communities. James the Lesser's influence is often linked to the Epistle of James in the New Testament. While scholars debate whether he was its true author, the letter reflects the theological perspectives that align with his known teachings. The Epistle of James emphasizes practical faith, urging believers to demonstrate their faith through good works. Key themes of the Epistle of James include faith and works. James emphasizes that faith without works is dead, James 2:14-26, highlighting the necessity of righteous living alongside belief. Perseverance in trials. He encourages believers to endure hardships with joy and patience as trials lead to spiritual growth, James 1:2-4. Control of the tongue. James warns of the dangers of reckless speech and the power of words to influence one's spiritual journey, James 3:1-12. Compassion for the poor. He calls for social justice and concern for the marginalized, reflecting Jesus' teachings on caring for the needy, James 2:1-7. These teachings solidified his role as a moral and spiritual guide in the early church. As Christianity grew, the early apostles faced increasing persecution from both Jewish authorities and Roman officials. James the Lesser, as a prominent leader in Jerusalem, was a prime target. According to historical traditions, his steadfast faith and leadership led to his eventual martyrdom. The primary account of his death comes from early Christian writers such as Hegesippus, Eusebius, and Josephus. These sources suggest that James was known for his righteousness and was highly respected even by non-Christians. However, the Jewish religious leaders saw his influence as a threat. Around 62 AD, James was brought before the Sanhedrin and pressured to denounce Jesus as the Messiah. When he refused, he was taken to the pinnacle of the temple in Jerusalem and asked to proclaim that Jesus was not the Christ. Instead, James boldly affirmed Jesus as the Son of God. Enraged by his declaration, his accusers threw him off the temple. However, he survived the fall and continued to pray for his persecutors. In response, an angry mob stoned him, and a bystander struck him with a club, killing him. His martyrdom solidified his legacy as a faithful servant of Christ. James the Lesser's dedication to his faith and his leadership in the early church have left a lasting impact on Christianity. His emphasis on righteous living, prayer, and perseverance remains a guiding principle for believers. He is venerated as a saint in multiple Christian traditions, including the Roman Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, and Anglican churches. His feast day is celebrated on May 3rd in the Catholic Church and October 9th in the Eastern Orthodox Church. Apostle James the Lesser, though not as widely known as some of his fellow apostles, played a crucial role in establishing the early church. His unwavering faith, leadership, and ultimate sacrifice exemplify the qualities of a true disciple of Christ. His teachings continue to inspire Christians worldwide, reinforcing the call to live a life of faith, righteousness, and service to God.